Okay, so this is the basic definition, which you already know. I'm just doing a quick review. Now there is certain issue which you might come across in future, but it might be important to tell here because it is beyond signals and systems. You are in a next level course. So this is something called, say, system identification. Okay. So we often look at a system and we define it linear or non-linear uh, based on our definition of the system. Okay. So we characterize the system by certain equation and other thing, and then we tell it is linear or non-linear by examining this aspect, whether the principle of superposition is valid or not. And if we'd like to, give an example and all, which we can relate to each one of us from your side and as well as from my side, say the performance score. So if you say that we are in an academic system, so input is your effort, and that the score that you get. Okay, so that performance score for you, it could be like the marks in an exam. Me, it could be the rating that I get from my employer. Okay, so all those things, right? Or even the school student feedbacks that I get. So all those things, if I say put it in this manner, then effort to score. Is it linear or non-linear? I mean, how, I mean, what is your view on this? I mean, if somebody says that means if I increase the effort by say 1.1 times, so will my score improve by 1.1 times? I mean, this is one consideration, one simple thing. Your feedback, please. Your response, please.
Probably linear in a range, but most of it is non-linear, I think.
Good, good, good. Linear in a range, right? That means you would like to say that if this side is effort and this side is score, right? So it is somewhat say piecewise linear kind of thing, and maybe as you go more towards that SGP of 10 or so, it shows a saturating tendency. I mean, from 9 point say 8 to 9.9, the effort need to be put much more than the usual. Usual means say from 6 to say 7. Perhaps I mean you same amount of effort can is it what you wanted to mean?
Yes, sir.
Piecewise linear means linear in this range. Similarly, it could be linear in this range, right? But overall, if we look at it, it is non-linear. Is that so?
Exactly, sir.
Thank you, thank you. So this is often important. Why? Why I'm saying that? Say if you are looking for a feedback system and you are trying to stabilize the system, right? And if this is your operating point, then within the, I mean, zone of operation also, the control path that you are talking about, it could be a linear, you can consider the system to be linear because you'll be operating in a small range to see that the operating point is, I mean, you have a stable operating point because of some variations in the input and all. You can get back to that particular thing for which the system as such, for that particular zone of operation, in which usually it operates or it is expected to operate, it is linear. And you are not operating over the entire zone. Entire thing is non-linear, of course, but this way is linear. So that is also often, is important that this linearity, whether it is a overall linearity or, in the zone of operation, you are considering this as a linear. Now, if I look at another part of it, so for you, probably it is fine that put more effort in this range and you can get little bit more score and all, or maybe with a certain slope, and over here maybe it's a different slope. So for you it works like this. But the same thing, will it work for another student? If you put this delta effort here, and you get a approximately increase in this particular score, it works for you. Will it work for another student in this manner?
No, sir.
Huh? Why?
Sir, it may work or may not work. Sir,
Sorry?
because everyone, sir, it may work or it may not work.
Why may not work? May work part is understood because it is, if you put more effort, it is expected that your more score. But then why should it not work? I mean,
Sir,
why
the
it is not
slope,
applicable to your friend? I mean, if it is works for you, why not for your friend? Yes,
sir,
please.
the slope of the graph can may not be same for two students, depending on their skills and everything.
Depending on? Depending
Their
on?
skills, their mental ability, etc.
Okay. So very interesting. So this is what I wanted to actually, understand. Okay. So you define the system. This is a outside coefficient, but in this particular system, if it is linear, say some multiplication, small multiplication and addition that is there. So that coefficient, okay, may be different, as you were saying, for different persons and different thing. And so it is this particular score and this particular effort is just not a one variable mapping to another variable. So there are other variables also. If you keep those variables constant, that the amount of exposure you have and your friend has, the amount of so-called, ability or whatever you say, or of course different people show a different level of ability in different kind of courses depending on aptitude, interest, and also this is not to make a call or make a remark of differential ability. I'm just saying that because of exposure and interest and other things, so this the coefficient value could vary. So every other thing remaining constant, right? Between you and your friend or me and my colleague, so this is okay. But there is difference. So often when we define system, so these constants, the boundary conditions or the other things remaining constant, which affects the system, that is also one need to take into account. Okay, so then only we can come up with a proper solution. So it is just not it is simple, for a first level course, but when you pick it up for a next level thing, then definitely you need to consider those aspects, the constraints more specifically, right? And how does it play out? And what are you doing with these constraints? Okay, so that is what I wanted to take note of you here. Timing variance. Okay, so basically, if you are all of you know just quickly. So if the input is xn and output is xyn, if input is delayed, then output should also be delayed in the same manner. So if input is something like this and output just, I mean, I'm saying by way of saying, and then this is your time point, this is your time axis. I don't know why it is happening like this. Then this is your time axis, so input is delayed. So then your output should also be delayed. Okay. When can it not happen? It should be, it should be like that only, isn't it? I mean, if I delay the input, I do not make the input available. I mean, and then if I, generally speaking, if I push it by this time unit, so this should also get pushed by this time unit. So all systems should be time invariant, isn't it? I mean, any response, any question, any observation?
Sir, if the system itself changes with time, then this won't happen. So for
Sorry?
example, sir, if the system itself is a function of time, so for example, in previous case we had A. So sir, suppose A itself changes with time, then this won't happen.
Okay. Right.
Sir,
Yeah.
the system could have some memory, it retains some information of the past, and based on that, it also it reacts.
Okay. Interesting.
Sir, one more
Interesting.
can happen.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Sir, it may be that y of n minus n naught, it can be y of an minus an naught, where a is a scalar, sir. So in that case, it may happen that time invariance is not followed.
I mean, can you, in the previous cases, some physical significance part was, brought out, that it is building up on, time. So some information is there. So it is not a kind of, the system has something on which it builds up on its own. So it is just not external excitation that drives the output. Okay. So there is something internal which also drives the output. So if you are delaying the input, but the whatever is there, which is already some way interfering or influencing the output, that will keep building, whether you bring the input later or bring the input now. So what do you mean by these AN, etc.? We should look at that part, of course, this time scaling and all that part, but still in the context of time invariance, what exactly is the physical significance of it or meaning of it? Somebody said something. Right. Okay. We shall look at that later. Okay. Then another thing that you have seen before, which is called causality. Right. So what is it? Causality is that always the output will be depending on current input and input that was presented before. It will never look at a causal system will not ask for input from the future. Okay. So can you give a practical, I mean, naturally speaking, so if you are talking about time as the independent variable, right? So of course nobody has seen future. So all the system are causal in that sense, right? But can you give an example of a non-causal system which has got a practical relevance?
Video processing.
Practical. People use it, huh? Yeah, yes. Go ahead, please. Louder. Practical, non-causal.
Video processing,
Yeah.
like they try to predict frames and add frames to videos to make it more smoother.
Videos, but the videos also has got a time axis.
But it's a recorded.
So how do you know
they have like
recorded video? So basically, for anything, if it is offline processing, if it is offline for processing, that means offline is recorded, not you're doing it in real time. Signal is coming, whether it is video signal or speech signal or any other offline, you can go for non-causal, right? And if you are, you have got data at this time point, at this time point, and at this time point, and you are trying to do some, inferencing on this particular thing, then you can use this data and this data if it is offline. But if you are not having an offline kind of thing, and this is this video or speech, it is the next sample is coming through the over time, then this one, if you want to make an inference on this, then this time point and this time point, if you want to use 2 time points, so past 2, the lag 2, you have to use, right? While for offline, you can use these two, which is the neighbors and all, and perhaps you can make a better estimate or better some correction if it is required on this thing, if it is noisy sample or some such thing. So you can use these two, or if you want to use 4 of the neighbors, so this side 2, this side these 2. While offline processing, online processing, if you want to use 4, then you have to go to this 4 side, and maybe this one which is very far, right? It has got very less influence on this, right? While these 2 neighbors has got more information that can help in addressing the issue associated with this time sample. Okay, so offline it is fine. I mean, I understand that part, and often people use it. And as somebody was trying to tell, the frame-based processing. So you have got a chunk of data. So you are dividing into different frames, and these frames are being processed, right? And so there you can go in future, or you can go back. So both the sides. Right. So this is in reference to time and offline processing. Any other?
Sir, population growth.
So that also is varying with time. What I'm trying to bring to your notice, observation, that can this thing, when you talk about system level, be something other than time? Can there be a system?
Yes, sir.
Which is
weather forecast.
What is it? Huh?
Weather forecast, sir.
Weather forecasting. Why is it not a function of time? Forecasting means is in future time. So this time only. Okay. Any other observation? Anybody wants to? Anyone have done any project, or often people do interesting things. This image processing. In image processing, right? So you have got an image, right? I'm not talking about video. Please make a distinction between these two. So in image video processing, you have got succeeding frames, isn't it? Okay. So there is a time, axis associated with it, right? And if you are trying to infer on this frame, then whether you use this frame and the other frame, whether it is in the future and past frame, that is a, the offline line, those aspects that we have just discussed. This frame itself, if you are looking for processing on this frame has a right, and there is one pixel, there is one sample over here, and you want to do some processing over it, and for which you can look at this pixel, these 2 pixels, and also these 2 pixels over here, or this side, this side. So if this aim could be space also, space coordinates, x coordinate, y coordinate, and you can take future value and the past value in that sense. Okay, and this system that takes care of some of this particular value sample based on whatever is here, as well as whatever is here and whatever is here. It doesn't need to look only the previous values in the space. It can look at future values. In that sense, future means which is as far as, because ultimately it is all sequence. Is this point clear? Can I get audio response?
Sir, so how do we know like which side of the test pixel is the future and which is the past? Like,
no, here there is no future, no past as such, as regard to time. because there is this system that we are talking about. So ultimately, it is processing samples. Okay, when you consider this as time, then the availability of samples, which is, if these are the samples, sample streams, data streams that are there, if this axis is time, then unavailability of these values that is there to its right to make a inferencing on this is something what can be done only in offline processing. You want to look at these two neighbors and these two neighbors. But if this axis is space,
Sir, I experience lag between your voice and your writing, like your voice and
at a time. Okay. What should I do? This is MS Team. Okay, I can go slow. What I'm trying to say is, if it is time and you want to correct this sample, if this axis is time, you want to correct this sample. In offline, you can make use of samples available here, available here, available here, available here. But in online or real time, these are not available. But if this axis is space, say X, right? And the example that I've given is image processing, then these are available at a time, and you can, if you want to correct this sample, then you can use this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay. Okay. More about that you can look at later on. The point to be noted here, yes, causal systems are important, but in current context, frame-based processing, offline processing, image processing, there you can use, people do use non-causal system. Stability, this is something also you have studied before. So for bounded input, okay, so there will be bounded output. So if input is bounded, the maximum within certain maximum value, then output will also be bounded within certain other maximum value. Okay, or this by bx can be same or different. Okay, for all in. Okay, this is also known to you. So this is important. And when you are asked to kind of characterize or analyze whether a specific particular system is linear, causal, time invariant, stable, etc. So the two methods that you usually follow, that if you want to prove it, you have to do it get a general solution that it is true for all cases. While to disprove, one counter example is enough. Okay, and often you feel or you understand that it is not the case, then you come up with a one appropriate counter example and the job is done. Okay, to prove one example that it works, it is not sufficient. You have to prove it for in general. Okay, this is how you have handled it before in the signals and systems class. Okay. Now I shall quickly go through some examples which you should be familiar with, but for the sake of completeness. So this is this particular system, this log, of course, you know that this is not linear.
Sir, we can't hear you.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to change to mobile network.
Sir, you're audible now. You went for a little.
You're audible?
Yes, sir. Now it's fine.
Okay, I think there's okay. that is there in your textbook is that, see if this is linear or not. Okay, we shall work with this example for other parameters, other characteristics also. So in one case you are giving this x1 generating y1 and x2 generating y2, and if you just have a linear combination of these two, then you see that this is the one. Okay, so this is a review. These slides will be available, so I'm not spending much time on this.
Sir, we can't hear.
You can interrupt. Okay, so just have a look at how this part is. So time, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So time invariant means basically you are shifting the time, right? So the input is delayed by certain time points, and then the output will also get delayed. That is the idea. Okay. Anyway, again, you go through these examples are there just for the sake of a quick review. I've listed it here. Just check whether you understand. So one counter example is given. So xn is un. So of course xn is bounded because un is maximum value is 1. And yn is a summation, so it grows, it keeps growing. Right, bounded. If you increase the value of n, then it will keep increasing. So this is unstable. So I would like to end this class with this particular thing, which one of your friend has mentioned. I have often found people having some conceptual issues with this one. Okay, so so let us look at through some actual values, numbers. So or not. Okay. So we would like to actually, if you look at it, so this is the signal which is x1, and this is a time varied signal of it, time lagged signal of it, x1n, which is xn minus n naught. And if you substitute, then in one case you will get xm n minus n naught, and in the other case xm n minus n naught within the bracket. Okay. Now, how are they different, and what is the meaning of mn minus n naught? These are the things that you need to appreciate. Okay. Can I get your audio response? Are you able to see that what it boils down to is that whether these two are equal or not? So y getting delayed by same amount, y n minus n naught. Okay, so that requires that this is, I mean, that requires an understanding of what it represents. Okay, and an input is given. So this is y getting delayed by n minus n naught. An input is delayed by n naught. So that is mn minus n naught for this particular equation. So these are the two different things that you have to look at and understand. Now, what is mn minus n naught? M is, of course, is the scaling factor. So if this is your xn, so that is what the example that I wanted to put, because often I have seen students getting confused about it. So this is say some just number sequence of numbers, samples. So 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So this is the time that you see. Okay. So xn minus 1 is what? Is this correct? Xn minus 1. Can I get an audio response? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Is xn n minus 1 correct? Here I have written. 0 is over here in a sample which was before this is visible. Is it a right shift that is happening?
Yes, sir.
Is this correct? Is this the way xn minus 1 is expected to be represented?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. So that you have understood. Now, if I consider m to be 3, m is equal to 3. This is my xn and x3. So if you keep substituting small n as 0, 1, 3, 4. So what value shall I get? X3n will be 1 here, right? N is equal to 0, then n is equal to 3, that is 2, 3, 4, 4 here. Then this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 here. So that way I shall, see x3n. So this is 1, 4, 1, 4, right? Am I correct? Is this correct? So this is your x3n. And what is x3n minus 1? Okay. So this is your xn minus 1. This is your xn minus 1. x3 or n minus 1 is this particular signal, this particular samples. So this point, this is now your n is equal to 0. Then 1, 2, 3. This point, this is your n is equal to 3. I mean, n is equal to 3 means basically overall, if you consider the whole thing, n minus 1 thing. Then next is 4, 5, 6. So this point. So 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. This is what you will be having for x3n minus 1. Okay. And what is x3n minus 3? This is your x3n minus 3, which will be derived from here. Okay. Which is your y shifted by just 1 unit. So 4, 1, 4, 1. Okay. So this is x3n minus 1 and this is your x3n minus 3. Spend some time. If you have any issue, let me know. If this is your xn, then x3n minus 1 and x3n minus 3. Visually, it would be represented by this. Numerically, this will be represented by this set of numbers, and corresponding there can be a. So if you have xan plus b, so first you have to conduct this operation and then the time scaling. Next, the time scaling. Okay. So time shifting, then time scaling. So this is the way the representation is done, the meaning of this representation. So x3n minus 3 unit of time shifting of it, which boils down to yn minus 1, nothing like, I mean, same as this, and then scaling. So it will give you 4141 and x3n minus 1 after shifting, of course, to the right, and then this time, this every 3 samples you're taking 1 samples. Okay, down sampling that. Is this fine? Can I get an audio response?
Yes, sir.
The order that you must not forget. I have seen people, getting confused. Which one is to be done before? What is the meaning? What is the, and accordingly things get, changed. Okay. So we stop here. If anyone has any issue, you can let me know by mail. We can start from that point. Otherwise, we shall continue from here. Okay. Up to this, whatever we have discussed, I will upload in the class folder. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. And sir, can you please stop the recording?
I stop the recording. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Stop.